Well, what's up everyone? Welcome to this week's video. Been a bit of a shit week this really. I started out making a different video to do with all 4, but I've had a bit of issues, so I thought I'd make this video instead. So, right, let's get into it. Being a child of the 80s that I was born in 1982. Yes, I am that old. I've always been a big fan of 80s films, a lot of 80s sci-fi and action films, hence why I have a lot of 80s characters and that tattooed on my arm there. Bit of a geek, you might say. Now, one thing I've had this idea in my head for, well, you know what the idea is, you've obviously seen the thumbnail, and that's why you're watching the video. I've had this idea of mounting a plane to the front of my quad, and I've never really sort of done out about it. Now, I had a bit of spare time, and like I say, another video that I was planning on filming kind of fell through. So I put a little bit of effort into making this one. So, like I said, being a fan of 80s films, one of my guilty pleasures is the first original Top Gun. I think it was 1986. Now, like I said, I was trying to think of a way to mount a plane to a quad, and I seen this video on, I think it was Instagram the other day actually. If I can find it, I'll tag the user there, and I'll actually put the video. I'll have to put it there actually. There's plenty of space, so you can see there what they've done. They've somehow mounted a Iron Man on the front of the quad and a camera behind it. It looks like Iron Man's flying. I wanted to do the same thing with an F-14, so I came up with this. Bosh! Now, those of you that are regulars to the channel will know this is my 7-inch build, the one that's giving me GPS issues, but other than that it flies fine. So I thought I wanted something quite big and stable to mount this camera, this setup on, and this is what I've come up with. I'll put a bit of a closer view up now so you can have a look while I'm talking about it. So what my first challenge was mounting the plane to the quad. So I fired Tinkercad up and knocked a few things together and sort of came up with this mount really. Now what there is a PLA sort of blade, and I've made it pointy at the top side there so that the plane was sat at the right angle for the camera, and I've basically added it to the camera mount where the GoPro was, and I've got a little TPU piece over the top just to give the screws a bit of something to squish into when it's screwed down, you know, because if I crank too hard on the screw into the PLA thing, it might crack it, so that's all that is. And then I was sort of thinking, oh, well, how can I mount my camera? And what I came up with was this. Now, it looks a bit big and cumbersome, and to be quite frank it is really, but I didn't want to use my GoPro to start with because, well, I was kind of worried about this thing just crashing to the ground and smashing it into a million pieces, and I didn't want to risk my GoPro. So what I came up with, I had an old Samsung phone. Let me get this thing off so you can have a look. I had an old Samsung phone. I thought I'd try coming up with some sort of mount. Again, I'll put this on the screen a bit bigger so you can see. Some sort of mount so I could sit this on top of my battery and slot my phone into it, and then that'd give me the camera looking down onto the plane, and then that's what we use to film the actual flying. So that was my idea really. I've sort of made the prints, got everything up charged and ready to go, so the only thing we've got left to do now is go out to the cliff top and try flying it, so let's go. Well, here we are at the cliff top. As you can see behind me, it's probably not the best day to be doing this really. It's a bit overcast and it's actually just starting to spit with rain a little bit, which is fucking typical, but we're going to give it a go anyway. So, right, I'm going to get my gear set up now. I'll have a quick once over the quad to make sure everything's alright, and then we'll see if it flies or crashes, so let's go. Right, so there we are. Everything's set up, ready to go. I've got my GPS mate on there. We're not going to be using GPS, but you have to, I've got mine set, it won't take off without having it on, so, and then, I don't know if you can see on the back of the phone there, I've got an ND filter on, just to try and make the footage a little bit better, but I think in this weather, we're not really going to need it, so, right, let's get this thing in the air, I suppose. Let's see how this thing goes. Right, I'm in the quad. Right, so you should be able to see the view I'm seeing in the goggles now, so, right, let's see how it flies. Few birds about here. So we're not doing out too dramatic to start with, we're just going to have a little cruise about really. So all we did really was have a couple of fast runs up and down the beach, a couple of dives down the cliff, just seeing how the quad felt in the air really, making sure there was nothing dangerous about it and it wasn't going to all of a sudden crash. We'll bring this in now, we'll have a quick look at the footage on the phone, clear all the lenses off, and then we'll have a go with battery number 2. Kind of got rained off a bit there really, the rain was starting to come down, but by the time I'd landed and got the second battery on, it was a bit too much to fly off again. But it was quite a good job I did, to be honest. Let me show you the footage here that I recorded on my phone, just so you can have a look. Now as you can see here, this is me getting the quad down on the floor, everything looks pretty good. The plane's half decent and in focus there, and the background doesn't look too bad. But as you can see here, as soon as we take off, serious vibrations. Yeah, not very good at all that. It gets worse and worse and worse as the video goes on, as you can see. So what I reckon is, with this being as big and as heavy as it is, obviously any vibration from the quad itself is going to exaggerate this. You know, this is not exactly damped or anything, and it's not, you know, you can't hold it properly on there, and it's, you know, there is a bit of movement that way. So I think I'm going to have to come up with a different way of holding this quad on. I think I'm going to actually have to put me Go 2 on the front, maybe something a bit lighter, maybe try and mount some off the front of there. But right, so only one thing left to do then, get designing something else and get it printed. So let's do that. Right, so this is the progress so far. Obviously we're getting rid of the phone idea, that's no good, so we're left with that basically. Now what my plan is, we're going to use an Action 2 and mount it to the front there, where the you know, the plate with the TPU that holds the thing on. So that, I mean, that's where action cameras usually go. When I have a GoPro that normally goes on this, and I don't get any vibration during that. So what my plan is, I am going to, and I'll do a close-up thing for you now with a bit of voiceover. I'm going to mount, you can sort of see there, I'm going to mount my Action 2. It works out roughly about there to give me the right sort of perspective and that on it. Now I'm not going to be putting the bottom screen on, I'm just going to be using the top of the Action 2. Now obviously I can't just sellotape that to it, so I'm going to have to come up with some sort of 3D print, which I have. A bit rough and ready. It looks like, I don't know, some sort of Victorian bridge with all them things in there, but I didn't just want to print a solid piece of TPU there in the middle, because it'd take forever. It's a waste of TPU, so I've made like a bit of structure there. Hopefully that should keep the vibrations out. And the good thing with this Action 2 mount is there, I can actually put an ND filter on in as well, so my footage should look a bit better. Alright, no fucking about now, we'll get that printed and we'll try it on. Right, so as you can see there, the print's done. All I've got left to do now is strip all the support stuff off it and we'll get it on the quad. You know, this is the part of 3D printing I fucking hate the most. You know, that actually feels quite rigid. I'm pretty happy with that. That support feels nice and stiff.
That's what she said.
And for those of you wondering why it's pink, I'll show you why. When I went to my stash, I'm almost out of blue TPU, so we had to print it pink. Don't judge me. I know it looks like a knob. Right, there we are. Is that the ugliest thing I've ever made? Quite possibly, but if it works, I don't give a fuck. Right, so I'm going to quickly try an Action 2 in now, just to make sure the field of view and everything's right, and then I'm going to go fly the fucking thing. So, right, let's go. Right, I'm just going to I'll quickly put a thing on now to show you the field of view and that this has now. So I'll press record on the Action 2 now, and you'll see on screen now what it actually looks like. So, there's my ugly arse. So the field of view looks pretty good. I'll give it a bit of a shake. And vibration wise, I'll stop that there. We're not going to be able to tell 100% until we actually get out and fly it, but for now the early signs are good. So right, like I say, let's get out and fly. I'm not going to lie, it's not the most prettiest quad I've ever made, but it's got a certain coolness to it. Right, so here we are back out. Weather's a bit better than it was last time we were here. The sun's actually out. There's a little bit of wind still, but nothing too bad right now. So the plan is, same as before, I'll take this for a fly and see what the footage is like. But don't worry, this time I'm not going to make you sit through a load of DVR. We're going to send it, and then when it comes back, we'll have a look at the Action 2 and see what it's like. So let's go. Right, so I've got the first pack on the Action 2, so let's check the footage out. Difficult to do this with one hand.
That's what she said!
Difficult to do this exactly in this light, but the plane looks good in the thing there. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, that looks good. I can't see any vibrations. Looks very dark on phone, like, obviously. Oh, look there. That footage looks loads better than last time. Looks a lot more stable. So, only thing to do now, I've got another battery there. I'm going to have that battery, but I'm not going to make you watch that. The next thing you're going to see is the reel that I make. So, here we go.
I'll be there in 30 seconds. Move your ass, get up here. I'm engaged in 5. Repeat 5. I'm in deep shit. Revving up your engine. Listen to her howl. One big trouble block high. One big trouble block high. Watch your back. Watch your back. How about slow? Engage, goddammit. I need to make closer, Marley. We're gonna do what? I've got your big dead ahead. I've got him dead ahead. Good tone. I got good tone. I got tone. I got tone. Fire it. Mustang, this is Voodoo 3. Remaining mags are bugging out.
And there we are. That was the reel. Just thought I'd give you a little insight there into what actually goes into making a minute reel. A lot of effort really that goes into it for not that many views, so I hope you enjoyed it and seeing the little behind stuff. I'll be posting that on YouTube Shorts and my Instagram main page and TikTok and all that, so links below to all them. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one with some weird contraptions. So, ta-ra.